got it. Great. Good afternoon. There we go. Oh, there we go. That was loud enough. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our March 1st Friday for the League of Women Voters of the Central Valley. My name is Ashley. I'm one of the board members for the league. We have a couple of announcements here to get us started, and then we'll welcome our speakers. I'm going to turn the microphone up just a tad, I think. Does that sound okay to everyone? No objections? Okay. Ooh, good. There we go. We'll do that. All right. So just a couple of quick announcements today before our speakers come up. So we have the sign at the sign-in table. You may have noticed we have our annual member meeting, which is going to be Friday, April 10th at 7 p.m. at the West Fargo Fire Hall. So if you are a member, you should get information related to that being sent out to you, and information on how to reply, letting people know that letting us know that you're going to be coming. So at the annual meeting, we vote on our board officers. We usually have a program, and then also vote on things like the budget and our program focus for the year. So it's also a great way to get to meet other members, especially members that might not make it to First Fridays. We have other obligations during the day, so it's a great way to meet all of our members. Related to that, March is membership month. So if you either renewed or became a member last year using the League of Women Voters US portal, you likely have gotten an email letting you know that it's time to renew. So keep your eye out for that. If I remember right, mine just came from, it just said like membership as far as who it was from, so keep an eye out for that. That's your cue to renew your membership. If you joined using one of our paper forms that we had, and you might need to renew again, I'm just going to say talk to Carol over here at this table. Carol would be happy to help you if you want to renew that one. Just a couple other announcements. So because our annual meeting is going to be in April, we're not doing a First Friday. So we'll just have the annual meeting in April, no First Friday. We are going to have a First Friday in May. The details of that one are still being finalized, so we don't have the program ready to announce yet, but keep an eye out to social media and obviously to the postcard that we mail out as well. And then May will be our last one for the season because we take a break over the summer. So June, July, August, we don't have First Fridays, but we are planning the summer series, which we did last year. That some of you might remember, it was at the Moorhead Library. We're going to be planning that again. It will be the last Monday in June and July. So keep an eye out for more information on that. And then I just wanted to end on a quick note about ways to support the league. So if you are not already, of course you can become a member. We have these cute postcards on the tables. On the back, there's a QR code that you can scan with your phone. It'll take you to the membership page. So if you would like to become a member, that's the excellent way to do that. Again, if technology is not your friend and you don't want to join online, again, talk to Carol. She'd be happy to help you out. You can, join the old-fashioned way, write a check or whatever works for you. Other ways to support the league is to make a donation. We have our donation box in the back by the sign-up table. So donations go to help support things like printing our postcards and other program costs that we have. And a final way that you can support the league is to buy apparel from Shirts from Fargo. And I know that Sandy is wearing her Shirts from Fargo, Vote Local t-shirt. That's one of my favorites. Yes, and somebody, the maybe voting will help. You were the first person I've seen wear it, so I'm so glad they came in on the yes. So you can get your own by going to Shirts from Fargo and going to our store for League of Women Voters. It's under League of Women Voters of North Dakota, but that's how you can get one for yourself or all your friends. Whatever works for you. All right. So with that, I'm going to welcome up Lynn to introduce our speakers.
Good afternoon, everybody. So March is also Women's History Month, and so I'm delighted with the fact that we've got both of our speakers they are obviously women. But in addition to that, excuse me, we have been talking a lot about immigration, and we've been talking a lot about the impact of some of the things happening in Minnesota and our country. But today's speakers give us a chance to look at it from a slightly different perspective. One of the things that we all probably think as we look at this issue is the concept of these thousands and millions of people, coming to our country. Well, a slightly different way to look at the local impact of organizations like GCA Thrive is that many people only immigrate to our country because of economic reasons to find a good job. And so organizations like GCA Thrive have a very important local impact because they are helping provide microloans so that people can stay in their own countries. So I wanted to bring that up because it's a slightly different way of looking at the impact of an organization and immigration. So our first speaker is Damaris, and she is from Ghana and a passionate board member for GCA Thrive. She graduated with a master's in sociology from NDSU and is currently in the doctoral program pursuing developmental science in the Department of Human Development and Family Science. She enjoys contributing to meaningful causes that uplift and empower our communities, whether facilitating workshops, supporting wellness programs, or participating in fundraising. She believes in the power of small acts to create big change. Our second speaker is Ruth, and she is also from Ghana and is currently in the Master of Public Health program at North Dakota State University, where she's focusing on maternal and child health. And she's a volunteer with GCA Thrive. Her interests are improving maternal mental health and supporting healthier outcomes for mothers and children, which is why she loves the work with GCA Thrive. Please welcome Damaris.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, and thank you for having us too. I just want to say that I'm glad to be here. Thank you for the warm reception. So far, you've been so wonderful. So yes, I'm Damaris Bibi, and everything said. We are here, myself and Ruth, we are here as members of the GCA Thrive. Now, GCA Thrive is Global Connection to Africa, because that was how we started. But then, in recent times and over the years, we are trying to broaden our scope and expand our work. So we are considering changing the A from Africa to all. So that is some conversations that the board is having. So that's about GCA Thrive. So global partnership and African success. What we do as an organization and as an upcoming NGO is that we see the future where all Africans thrive through local ingenuity and global partnership. Now what this means is that we collaborate with other organizations in other African countries that I'll be speaking on, or we'll be talking about. We collaborate with them, and then they kind of like serve as a middle road to the individuals and agencies or individuals that need help. And so we have that partnership with locals on ground in the various African countries. And that's how we work, and that's what our global partnership is. So GCA Thrive is a non-profit organization. Our primary focus is financial empowerment and independence to women, and then also an extension of that is for children, women and children in the community at large. We believe that when we reach out to women especially in terms of like to help them to be financially independent, it goes a long way. And in recent times, we started working in Fargo, which I will talk more about in the coming slide. So basically, it's for financial empowerment for African people and in the future looking to broaden our scope. So yeah, key facts about GCA Thrive, where it was incorporated in 2014. We achieved the NGO status, the 501c3 status in 2018. And like I said, we work with local individuals. So it's kind of like grassroots organizations, small organizations. Currently, we don't have staff. Everything that we do, myself, Ruth, and other people that will be showing in some of it, it's all volunteering. So whatever we do, whatever we sell, I'm sorry, I'm losing my words here. Anyways we get involved to get money, it all goes into our initiative in helping people. So yeah, we are individualized, personalized program. We actually tap into what is thriving in the community. So in the community, for instance, through our local partnership, if the community is good in agriculture or animal farming, we tap into that. That's what they have, like what they have currently, and then try to support them with finances. So leveraging whatever they have and then using it as a form of empowering them and supporting their work. Can you? Yeah. Thank you. So these are some of our board members. This picture is a little old, but because in the past months we've had new people being on board. So, but these are some of us. So, yeah, and that's Alicia. Alicia is the lady from the second from the right. She's a CEO of the organization, and all other people, including myself and Ruth, are volunteers, kind of board members who we meet, we talk on issues and see how best we can raise funds to help our projects. So that's basically our board members, including the little ones. They are very supportive with all that we do. So how we began? It all began in Ethiopia when Alicia Belay went to Ethiopia as a researcher, as a researcher in one of the Ethiopian communities, and then she saw a need. The need was that there were a lot of women who were not in a good state, like for instance, they couldn't afford basic needs like food. A majority of them had, they were living with HIV. They were living with HIV. So she started with food truck. So she, through the Rotary Club, because she was a member of the Rotary Club, she was able to get funds from them and then started giving them food. But food is not, it's a immediate need and it's short term. So the question was, how do we make it a long term? How can we help to make it a long term? Because you can give them the food today and tomorrow they'll go hungry. But how can you do something to make them more independent by themselves? So then she went back to, so that's how we started, like food truck. So she went back to the Rotary Club, and then they talked together, and then they realized that they have something they call injera. It's like a bread, the Ethiopian bread. And so she, through other people, they were able to gather funds, and then they gave the women training on how to make injera. Gave them some funds to start making injera for themselves, to sell, and then they'll make some profit, and then they'll put back into the business. So that is how we started, beginning from food bank or food truck to more ways of being independent financially in a small way. There were other times too that some of those communities were doing more of animal rearing. So they gave them some funds to buy, sell, make business out of it so that they can be financially independent. So that's how we started from the beginning in Ethiopia. And over the years, we've been going into other African countries, identifying the needs, seeing what they have, and then tapping into that to make it big for them or to be, so they can strive on that to be independent. So yeah, basically we identify the need of the community and then we help. So these are some of the projects that we've done. So after that in Ethiopia, it now became a micro loan. So we get funds through, there's a word I'm trying to remember. What do we do when there's some fundraising activities, that's the word. Sorry. Fundraising activities. There are a lot of times that we've done fundraising activities. We've gone to Jamestown to raise funds. We sell some products, like some of the things that we displayed on the table behind. We sell them, make the money, and then through our local partnership, they identify communities and women in need, and then we give microloans for them to start business. So these are some of the recipients. The pictures you see on the slides, on the screen, are some of the recipients of our microloans through the help of the Rotary Club. The Rotary Club, yeah. So yeah, in Ethiopia, a lot, like I said, it began in Ethiopia, and that was the foundation, and we moved from the food bank to a lot of projects. So we had job trainings for women. Over 100 women got were trained on jobs to have skills and to do something for themselves. In February 2022, we had 7 women who were interviewed and filled by GCA Thrive, and the co-founder at Nabile, that's the founder's husband. So they interviewed the women with all that we've helped them to do to see the successes. So they've made a lot of job trainings for women, especially in Ethiopia and in other countries I'll be talking about. So these are more pictures of women who were trained on jobs to have skills to get to do things for themselves. More pictures. So that's the picture beneath where the woman is holding a sheep. It's one of the projects that we help the women to do. And then the injera, making the injera for themselves, and then selling it to make funds to be independent. So yeah, this picture here and this slide here is just a testimony of one of our recipients, which says that I was a household maid before, now I have my own business. I'm doing my business, I'm excited, I changed my life, I was living a very bad, low type of life. This is now my business, the injera making. This is my life, it is my own. I am not working for others, I'm working for my own business. I get inspired. Thanks to God. I don't know what to, I don't want to stand like a beggar to face other people like a beggar. I'm working, I'm standing like an equal, not lower than others. So this is Almas, one of our recipients in Ethiopia. These are one of our early projects in Ethiopia, and testimony. There are lots of other testimonies like this. I'm using the word testimony because I don't know the right way to use, but a lot of other testimonies like this for our recipients. Yeah, so I'm going to pass on to my next speaker, co-presenter.
Hello everyone, my name is Ruth, and I'm also a volunteer with GCA Thrive. And Bibi has spoken a lot about organization, what we do, and I'll be speaking a little bit about our model. So basically what we do is to provide microloans for businesses in Africa. And we have a board, and our board members have partners or relationships with organizations in Africa. So what we do is to work with these local organizations on the ground. So whatever these organizations, whatever projects these organizations have in terms of community projects to support the people, they have to bring a proposal for the project, and then the proposal goes through a review process, and if the board agrees on the project that is something worth investing in, the microloan is given. So the microloan is actually dispersed to the like Lynn mentioned, most of the people we help, it's they really want to work, they want to be independent, most of these women, but they just don't have the means to start. And so GCA fills in that gap by providing the startup so that they can be independent, do something for themselves to sustain them and to make their lives better, to support their children and their families. Okay, so we have a lot of ongoing projects. GCA Thrive has worked in quite a number of African countries. We have projects in Ethiopia, we have projects in Tanzania, Kenya, we have projects in, this year, Uganda. This year, we are looking to start 2 projects in Ghana. We're excited, and there's another project in review that we are hoping to start in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So like I mentioned, it's basically microloans that we provide. And the beautiful thing is that, so mostly these projects are given a $100 microloan, and once they start their business and start making profits, they pay off or pay back the loan to the local partner or non-profit organization, and the loan is given without interest. And whatever money is paid, when the loan is paid back, that money is given against another project or someone else who needs it. So basically, it's like one loan being given is helping a whole, so many people because it's recycled inputs. One loan is being paid forward, if you think about it that way. So you end up helping a lot of people with just that one loan of $100. Okay, so I think I've explained that. So I'll be talking a little bit about some of our projects. So in Tanzania, we have a project that's ongoing. It started in December 2021. And through the Rotary Club, GCA Thrive identified an NGO, non-profit organization called TAPCOM. And what TAPCOM does is they train women, they provide them with business skills, to start their own business. But then even though they were training these women, they didn't have the funds to start the business. So GCA Thrive stepped in, and in partnership with TAPCOM, now these women have the means, the startup, to start their own businesses. So this is Rukaya from Tanzania, one of our recipients. And Rukaya, before GCA Thrive partnered for Kringen, she didn't have any means to support herself or her children. She has 2 children. But through this project, Rukaya started her business, so she received a microloan and she started trading in second-hand shoes. And through that, the money she made from that, she's able to pay off the loan and she's able to support herself and her children. These are also recent pictures from this year from some of our recipients. So we have Rukaya also from Tanzania, we have Hima, and all of these women through GCA Thrive are now independent. They're able to support themselves, their families. And then we have Manahawa, she's also from Tanzania. So Manahawa's story, she's a seamstress. She makes clothes, and before she got in touch with the local organization in GCA Thrive, Manahawa had to rent a sewing machine. So you can imagine the cost, having to sew whatever profit she makes, she has to pay for the renting of the machine. So she was practically not making anything from her sales. But then through GCA Thrive, she got the means to purchase her own sewing machine. That's what we're seeing in the picture now. She's well established. She was able to pay off her loan. So these are some of our success stories, testaments to the facts or to the work we are doing, to the fact that people just need support to thrive where they are, and if we can help, we should do so. But work doesn't come, well, we had some some challenges, some difficulties, considering some of the changes that are taking place now and some policy changes. We have had some difficulties, especially some of our recipients, especially from Tanzania. Some of these women are women living with HIV, and because of the changes in policies and let me say the interaction of some of the programs like USAID, they provide medications which are free for people living with HIV, but now these women are not getting these medications and have to buy. And the cost for a month's worth of medication is about $45, and these women are not able to afford the medications because of how much or how high it costs. And so, GCA Thrive is helping, the microloans to support these women, but then having to pay for these medications also puts in that extra financial burden on them. And so now is the time that we need support to sustain what we've already started to support these women and their families and their children. So we have projects as well in Kenya. In Kenya, we provided a microloan for a project where a community of farmers wanted to start. So there was a training on agroecology and innovation systems, and the training has helped families or communities in Kenya to, be able to farm on a larger scale and have sustainable food and income sources for themselves and their families.
This project actually was an irrigation project. So there were farmers, but when you're farming, you need irrigation, you need water to get your crops to yield and to make good sales. But then they had a challenge of irrigation, so GCA came into contact with them, or through local organizations. They got into contact with GCA Thrive. So GCA Thrive helped to make that irrigation possible. So this was just the starting of identifying the land and getting to know, okay, this is where we are going to make our project. So this was a picture of that irrigation project for the farmers in our community.
We have one more slide. Yes. So our upcoming projects in Ghana. So this year we're looking at starting 2 projects in Ghana. We're hoping to work with some local partners in Ghana to train 30 widows in the northern region of Ghana. There's the Doba and the Kandiga communities in the north, and the training would include teaching these women how to weave baskets, make liquid soaps, in poultry, pastry making, to support them, and give them the skills to support themselves and to make a living for themselves. And the other project is similar to the first one, also supporting widows in Jachi, in the Ashanti region, in making liquid soap. Some widows in some of our communities have faced some harsh conditions because of their state as widows, and sometimes they're ostracized by the communities and they don't get the support they need. So that is why this is a project GCA Thrive is looking to support in Ghana. So I think I'll hand over to you to continue what you're doing locally.
Yes, thank you. So locally, extending our work here in Fargo, we as a board and with other partners, our first project was financial literacy series. Everything that we are doing for these women, it's all about financial independence. It's all about financial empowerment. Now, bringing it into this context and into the community where we find ourselves, we just thought of doing that same financial independence project, but in a different way. So we, in partnership with Bank of North Dakota and the association, the African Student Association in NDSU, because I was also in the school, so I was like, you know what, let's start from the younger people, because these women were young before they got to that spiritual liberation when it comes to finances. So in partnership with the Bank of North Dakota, we did a financial literacy program for the students. Now, it was in the name of the African Student Union, but the attendants and then the attendees, the people who came, were not just the African students, it was all international students that were able to come. So we had, and even some were Americans, so we had not just Ghanaians or Africans in general, but from other international students from other continents, like the Indians, so it was a successful program. It was the first of its kind, and we are hoping to launch this same project into other universities like Concordia and MSU for that. So that's locally, that is how we are still going on with our financial independence and literacy in this setting. So yeah, and that is a picture during the first the first financial literacy program in NDSU, and then the financial person from the Bank of North Dakota was the one giving it. So it was very interesting because there were a lot of questions a lot of insights that we had as young folks. But we don't, GCA Thrive is saying we don't want to get to the older age. We can start our work also at the younger, from the young generation. So that is what we are doing right now. And we hope to continue with it and launch more projects, more local projects in Fargo Moorhead community. So yeah, how can you help? So we do sell products. Majority of the things, some are from the countries where we did the project, and some are just representation. So there is this project that we didn't show, but it was a sugarcane project. So in one, it was either in Kenya or Uganda. There was a Ugandan project, but I think it wasn't on the slide. So we helped these individuals with their sugarcane plantation. We supported their family because we tap into the resources of the community and they just help in the best way we could. So things that we, during fundraising activities, for instance, last 2 years we went to Jamestown. They were having a parade, a community parade, so we went to sell things to raise funds. We understand that we are seeking donations from other people, but we are also trying to get things running too. So we sell produce, like some of the things we've launched behind. We sell them to raise funds, and then in addition to other donations that we get to support. So how you can help is to donate. It could be monthly, it could be yearly. Any donation would help. Now with financial literacy events, I mean, we are open to ideas, to like places where you think that this community, or you're in contact with this community, or you know somebody within this community that would help us to have such series, that program series. And then volunteering. I mean, volunteering, we are open to also getting volunteers, but so far our volunteers have been good. We show up in global markets most times. Yeah, so that's how you can help us with, basically help us with our organization. And this is just a picture of the blue. The picture in as in blue was one of our fundraising events in Jamestown, and the other picture was just meet up with all other members to have more deliberations and more strategies on how we can continue our project. So that's GCA Thrive for you, and thank you for your listening. And that is also, if you want to know more about us, we are on social media, we are on Facebook, we are also on Instagram, but Facebook is where we showcase most of our projects, and our information, our email, that if you have any ideas or anything that we want to reach to us, we are open to. So that is it for our presentation. Thank you.
you have for sale?
Yes. I think I wanted to say that. I don't know how to skip it. Okay. So we have the Kenyan tea. So majority of the things that we have there, some are a representation of the countries where we worked in or we've done projects. So we have coffee from Ethiopia. I heard Ethiopia has one of the best coffee. So we have the coffee bean from Ethiopia. We have the Kenyan tea. We have sugar, and the sugar is not from the country, it's not from Uganda where we had the sugar representation, the sugar project, but we just thought of having that sugar representation of that country where we worked in. And then we have the black soap. We have the black soap that we do sell during our fundraising activity. So those are some of the things that we have. And the majority of other things that we also sell are things that donors give to us to get, instead of save money, they give us, they make the products and then they give it to us as like donation. We sell, we make the money and we put it into the office for projects. So those are the things that we have displayed behind.
I used to work as a basic needs coordinator at the college, and there was always a need for a financial literacy class or something like that, especially for our international students. We work pretty closely with them. So this is really exciting too, because it was always like, who's gonna teach it? Who can, like, it's a need, but we don't, like, there's venues, there's food, there's things like that, but coordination was like the hard part, so this is exciting.
Yeah, GCA, and I'll get in contact with you. GCA will be willing to, because we have a contact with the Bank of North Dakota. And it was very interesting, like students were asking questions. I mean, I'm also a student, so we were asking questions that, like for the future, like saving, investment. They were so helpful. The resources they gave were so helpful. So we will be willing, because we've been wanting to get in contact with student bodies in some universities, like the colleges around us, so that we can do that project again. So we'll be willing to do that. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I'll follow up with you.
So you mentioned the impact of the elimination of USAID. So has your organization and others seen any? You kind of refer to it, but have you had more requests from the people in the company in the countries that you serve for microloans? Have there been more requests than there were before?
I don't have answer to that question, but I will be willing to ask Alicia, because she's more in contact with them. So I cannot say, I don't have an answer to that. But that's good.
Yeah. Alicia is having oral surgery today, right? Yeah.
In the absence of any questions, we just want to say thank you for your audience, and we hope to have some donations, if possible, from this organization. Thank you for the time.
I do want to just say, before you leave, I think it's incredibly powerful when we have the opportunity to just see what a difference a small amount of money can make in the livelihood of somebody. And I really appreciate their work and their courage to come and speak before this group. So thank you.
Yes, thank you so much to our speakers. That was very interesting. We just have one final announcement that was kind of passed to me. So just as a reminder, we hope to see everybody back the first Friday in May for our final first Friday of this kind of season, before we take our summer break. We also wanted to let you know, so on March 28th, there's going to be the No Kings 3, right? 3 protest. So March 28th from 1 to 3, and they are partnering with NDSU student groups. And so I had initially heard it was going to be like in the kind of courtyard between City Hall, library, and that area. Apparently they've had to change the location due to the melting snow and all list. So it's going to be at NDSU at Churchill Field. So from 1 to 3, March 28th. And the League of Women Voters is a national partner, and I think we were potentially looking at having one of our board members speak at this local protest as well. So if you are available and interested, we hope you can make it to that. So with that, we'll conclude our presentation for today. Obviously, we have the room until 1, so if you need to finish your lunch or want to visit with the people at your table, please, by all means, do that. And we'll see you back in May.